Next chapter, chapter number 9. So the 7 was Aqsam al-Mad, Ahkam al-Mad is 8, Aqsam al-Mad al-Lazim is 9. And then we have Khatima 10.
No, but we don't cover that in the English.
Yeah, we don't, but do you want to do it?
Inshallah.
Okay, let's go to the board. Okay, Aqsam al-Mad al-Lazim is pretty much a theoretical, you could say, chapter, in as much that most of the Mad Lazim you're going to stretch for 6 harakat. So what does he tell us about in this chapter? What he tells us about, he says to you that Mad Lazim is of 2 types. Harfiyun and kalimi. Kalimi. So don't write anything yet, just pay attention with me. Harfi, you can say it's in a letter. I'll put here underneath letter. And kalimi is in a word. Okay? And each of these is going to be called either Muthaqqal, Mukhaffaf, or Mukhaffaf. And here is the same. It's either Muthaqqal or Mukhaffaf.
Does this mean heavy and light?
Yep. Okay, what does it mean heavy on light? It means with idgham or with shadda, without, or idgham, okay, without. So what does that mean? Do you remember the example that I gave from Mad Lazim? In the Quran I said there's 2 ways. So is there a shadda there?
Yeah.
Good. So that's muthaqqal. Is it in a word or is it in a letter? It's in a word, yeah?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
So for example, it's kilmi and it's with the shadda. For example, wala dhalin. Shadda, right? So it's muthaqqal, you have to put some effort into it. Okay? Without ana. Ana. Is there any extra effort you're putting into like? No, it's not like a shadda, is there? It's light, it's easy, right? Okay, what about harfi? Harfi is awwal as-suwar, at the start of surahs, in the letters at the start of the surahs. So for example, you have some, okay, and what he does in this chapter, he tells you, okay, what are the letters that come at the start of surah? Good, but all of them, do you know?
Ain, Sad, Kaf.
How many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Silhu. So Hayran. Okay, yeah, I forgot this. 14. Okay. Sad, Lam, Ha, Sin, Ha. Okay. Okay, out of these, how many of them have med? Extra med.
2. Yeah, and then right.
No, not letters of med. Okay, so let's spell this letter out. Sad. Can you spell it for me? How do you say it? So you have Sad, Alif. So look, Sad. Is there Alif med? Is there med there?
Yeah.
And there's the sukun after?
Yeah.
So it's med lazim. After the letter of med came sukun. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a shadda there?
No.
So it will be without.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, what about the letter lam?
Yeah.
Is the letter of med there?
Yes.
Yes. Is there sukun after? Yes. So it will be light, yeah? So it's going to be med lazim and is mukhaffaf. طيب?
Yeah.
What about, what's the next letter?
Mim.
This is not mim, this is a ha. Ha. Okay, does this have a letter of med?
Yes.
Yes, alif. Is there sukun after it?
No.
There's nothing after it. So is it going to be med lazim?
No.
No. So these are the 14 letters that the start of surahs come with. Some of them have med lazim.
Okay.
Don't worry. Some of them have med lazim.
Yeah.
Which ones? He tells you. He says in the poem, Kam asal naqas. Out of these 14, these are the ones. Oops, sorry. Kam, sorry. Kam asal naqas. So look, what do you notice about these?
They were
They all have mad, but they all have 3 letters in their name. Look, ha, it only has 2, right? What are the ones there? Ta only has 2. Yeah, but these have 3. So there's a mad in the middle. Okay, the only letter that has 3 letters in its name and has no mad is what? Alif. Yeah?
Yeah.
So he says, he does mention alif, he says ثلاث الحروف except for the alif. So he tells you the ones that have 3 letters except for the alif. Yeah? So كم عسل نقص. And then, so, okay, what's remaining from that? Which ones from here?
Yeah.
Which ones from here are not in here?
Qaf.
Qaf is
Qaf
there?
is there. Yeah, is not there.
He says hayyun tahirun. Sometimes say hayyun tuhrun, sometimes say tahirun. Okay? Ha.
Ta will make it alif.
Wait. Ha. Does it have mad?
No.
Extra mad? No. Ya? No. Ta? No. Ha? No. Ra? No. Okay? So now, when does it have? Now we said all of the mukhaffaf without idgham, but sometimes they have idgham. Do you know when?
When there is idgham.
Yeah.
When the idgham replies, when after the mad is one of the idgham letters, right?
Yeah. So what? Yeah, but when? No, but when? Like when you have in the start of the surah, alif, lam, mim.
Yeah.
So why does it have mad? What does that mean? Look, lam. You're spelling out, right? And then the next letter is what? So this letter now is gonna mix into that. So that would be muthaqqal. So between each other, they are muthaqqal. So
it's idgham because there's meme.
because 2 memes next to each other, yeah. So you wouldn't say alif lam mim. No, you hold it, you do mad, you do the idgham, right? Okay? You with me?
Yes.
So all of this, does it change the way that we pronounce? No. Because all of this mad lazim anyway. But it's terminology. But there's one thing. He says, وَعَيْنُ وَالْعَيْنُ ذُو وَجْهَيْنِ وَالطُّولُ أَخَص. Ayn, the letter ayn, has 2 ways. Sometimes it's stretched for 6 harakat, sometimes for a bit shorter.
Like in Surah Maryam.
Yeah. Kaf ha ya ayn sad. The ayn sometimes is for less. So not 2. Let me not put 2 harakat, but it has dhu wajhaini. He has 2 faces. 2 ways. Yeah. That's the only thing really that is different, that teaches you different. Yeah. And then the chapters are done. And he goes to the conclusion. وَتَمَّ النَّظْمُ بِحَمْدِ اللَّهِ. So you've learned a lot of things. The most important thing, not the most important, but one of the things that I want you to take away is, don't make knowledge complicated. A beginner's book is written for beginners. Keep it for beginners. If you see that the student can handle more, then take them to the next book up. But if you make the beginner's book too hard, it's almost defeating the purpose. Yeah? So knowledge is not about showing off, oh, I know this much, I can read and translate. It's about getting the benefit to that person. I read something in the author has, which is who?
Jamzuri.
Sulaiman al-Jamzuri rahimahullah. He says there's an explanation of this poem that is attributed to him. He mentions in there when he says سميته بتحفة الأطفال. I have called this book, this poem, Tuhfah al-Atfaal, a gift for the kids.
And he says, just as like
Yes.
as well, yeah.
So he says Atfal, it could be the one that hasn't reached puberty, or it could be someone like me who is a small person in this science. So if someone like that, someone that wrote a poem, he's explaining it, has a lot more knowledge than most of us, he's not proud to understand and accept that he hasn't got that knowledge, then us also, we should have humility and realize that whatever we learn is from the blessing of Allah, from the virtue of Allah. And we have a test now. Are we going to use it for good, or we're not going to use it? You learn tajweed and then you don't read Quran. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So we have to make sure that we use this for good, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Bi'idhnillah, we'll start going through some other books. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this a benefit for us and not a hujjah against us. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Write this down. Write it in the words that you understand. And any questions?